Morning everyone. It's what day is it today? It's Wednesday the 20 something, 22nd, 23rd of March. I'm out looking at work today. I've got to pick some keys up for a job that I start next week. The people are going on holiday and I've got to go and pick the keys up, so I'm going to have a nice sort of drive cross country and have a nice easy day of that, really. Plenty to do, but just not today, and then not tomorrow either, actually. We'll see. The job I'm going to look at now, I might be able to squeeze it in this week because it all kicks off again next week. So that's what you do, isn't it? You juggle, you slot in, you're playing Jenga with jobs all the time. If you can get one done in and out, that's nice. I don't really want to look at a little job and say I can't come for 2 or 3 weeks. Obviously people want things done fairly straight away. But anyway, I've put some my wife's skincare stuff on my face today. I'm going to start a new skincare regime. I've always been one of them blokes that puts moisturiser on, but any old thing I do, whatever's to hand. But I've gone for a bit more of a specialised regime now. Tropics is the stuff, and if I can look half as good as my wife, then I'll be a happy man, and she'll be a happy woman as well. I should think. I've been looking at myself in these last couple of videos I've been doing, and I've been looking a little bit rough lately. Well, looking rough all the time, but even rougher. My little bit of fluffy hair's been all over the place, so I've just put a little bit of oil stuff on that to keep that down until I can afford to go to Turkey or even over here and have it done. I would love to have that done, I'd love to have a hair transplant. I'm not really a vain man. I wouldn't say I'm not bothered about it as such. I'm not embarrassed. I'm happily married. I've got a wife that loves me for who I am, so she says. But curiosity gets the better of me, I do like pissing about. I don't know if you've ever seen some of my videos. I might do a silly impression or put a wig on or something, and I've always been like that. I've always been a little bit of a like pissing about and pretending to do characters and things. And so when you put the wigs on, obviously it hides all this, and your brain starts thinking, I wonder what I'd look like with hair again. So I do watch videos of people that have had these hair transplants, and they look great after about a year when it all starts taking up, like a fresh lawn. Really looks a bit rough at first. Once it all starts picking up, it really looks good. Yeah, so something I might do in the future. I doubt it very much, but if I ever come into enough money, I can have that done and have a bit of time off for the recovery. I'd dearly love to do it just for curiosity rather than vanity. Obviously, there's a little bit of vanity there. We all want to look better than we do, I suppose. But hey, I could look pretty smooth with a little barnet. Be like Tintin. I was always called Tintin anyway as a little, because when I did have hair, I always had this sort of little flicky happy bit, blonde hair. I had very blonde hair when I was younger. So Tintin was a lot of my nicknames. But anyway, that's enough waffle. I'm going to drive off now, look at jobs. Can't seem to do anything without a cup of tea in my hand as I get older. It's like a comfort. You've got to have a cup of tea. Whatever I do, cup of tea. I'll make a cup of tea. I think it replaced smoking. I stopped smoking a while long ago. About 25 years ago, I knocked it on the head. And I think I've always replaced it with something else in my hand. And you can't replace it with Mars bars or Snickers. That would just be ridiculous. So I just think a cup of tea is always something just to it's like a little lug of a fag, isn't it? Always got something on the go. I suppose I'm just a greedy bastard. I have something in my hand. Anyway, I'll see you later. Back indoors now. I've been out looking at work, picked up the keys for a job that starts next week, and just looking at my skin regime. Look, still looking shiny. Look at that. Because I'm worth it. But I did look at a job. The fella rang me yesterday. He said it was a media wall. And I thought, okay, media wall, you're just thinking of the normal standard media wall, wooden frame, bit of plasterboard in it where a telly's going to go. And then I turned up, and it turns out he's a retired bricklayer, and he's built some of his own sort of media walls, very fiddly. So I will insert the pictures into this video in Ted Rogers style. 3, 2, 1, go. So as you can see, they're very fiddly. Loads and loads of beading to do, and he wants it all done in proper hard wall and then skimmed on top. So physically not a very demanding job, but concentration wise you're going to need all your concentration there. I have to get some proper beads, the old old-fashioned render beads, I think, for that. Do some proper traditional plastering, so that will be appearing in a video soon. So I'm going to price that for proper old-fashioned traditional plasterer's bead with a mesh on the side, and then my head started thinking, oh, maybe we should be doing it in plastic nowadays. I don't know really. I've not done that sort of plastering for a long while. Usually when you get brick walls, everything's dot and dabbed for you. You don't really do a lot of proper solid plastering anymore. I can't remember the last time I used proper ankle bead, you know, like with a mesh on the side. That's all we used to use years ago. It was just that. I don't even remember years ago, and I'm talking about in the 80s. I don't even remember thin coat bead being about. Am I just imagining that? Because I learned through doing like damp work. We used to do a lot of damp work, so it was all sand and cement work, and obviously it'd all been hacked back to the brickwork. So we always used to use the proper plasterer's bead, render to that, and then you'd sort of scrape out a little groove down the edge of the bead, and then your skin would sit into that. So you never needed a bead on top of that bead. So I'm just thinking of that job there. I've got to bead it properly because it's got to be hard-walled and then skimmed. But should I really be using the galvanised bead, or should I be doing plastic now? Am I just behind with the times because I'm looking at it from how I learned traditionally? But plastic bead I would use on the outside. If I was doing like a little K-Ren job or a silicone job, I would always use plastic bead. But will that work on the inside? I know it'd work for the hardwall, but when you get your finish on top of that, is that going to be okay for a sharp corner with a finish returning around it? Any comments? Give us a little nudge, because I want to price it up fairly soon, and I would imagine there's quite a big difference between pricing it for plastic bead or you know, galvanised bead. I'm going to go and sit on the computer now and see what price I can get in beads for. Wicks I would probably go. I've got a huge grey near me, but I want to leave there with both arms and both legs. So anyway, yeah, if anyone has got any suggestions on beading that, yeah, I'd be interested to know really. And what would you do? See you soon, guys.